Tonight, a group of protesters held a rally in Decatur, and although a permit is required, demonstrators went ahead as planned this evening without one. Last month, Decatur Mayor Tab Bowling decided to enforce the ordinance after protest at his home. Tonight's demonstrations come after the police shooting death of Steven Perkins 5 months ago. News 19's Daryl Burke joins us live from City Hall in Decatur. So, Daryl, you spoke with community members about what their thoughts are on the ordinance. What did they have to say?
Well, Greg, protesters have been asking their city leaders to address an amendment to that ordinance for some time now, and some say that current law in place requiring a permit is a violation of their freedom of speech. Now, many say they've grown frustrated over the lack of urgency among city leaders in addressing a change to that ordinance that would allow them to protest without permission. Tonight was another phase in what many say is a continuing battle for the justice and the police shooting death of Steven Perkins. The law in question is a parade ordinance that was passed in the late 1970s, with some calling it a way to prevent people from demonstrating their First Amendment rights. Despite the mayor saying the city would enforce the law, no arrests were made and no citations were made at Friday night's demonstrations. The existing ordinance requires a permit in advance of demonstrations on streets, parks, and public places. But some in the community, like Alainah Dailey, feel the language in that ordinance is largely unclear.
They want us to be silent. That's their definition of peaceful. Our definition of peaceful is nonviolent, and we're nonviolent. We always have been and we always will be, because that's who Steve Perkins was.
For Dailey and many others in the community, they explain the need for city leaders to immediately address a change to that parade ordinance while adding the importance of the community continuing their fight.
Passing this new parade ordinance is still important because it gives clarification that in the city of Decatur, we are protecting First Amendment rights. When they all get fired and one suspended, that means that something wrong happened, something wrong occurred. You can back the blue when they're good, but you can't back the blue when they've done something wrong.
Now, it's important to note that a unanimous vote is required to consider an amendment to that ordinance, a vote that can come as early as Monday at the next city council meeting. For now, live in Decatur, Daryl Burke, News 19.